Earlier this week, our nation recognized Martin Luther King Jr. Day, a time of service in our communities aimed at helping those in need and advancing the common causes that make our neighborhoods and nation great. In his I Have a Dream speech, Dr. King famously noticed that his dream for equality was a dream deeply rooted in the American dream, the quintessential American idea that if you work hard and play by the rules, there's no limit to your opportunity to succeed. For millions of families throughout our nation, the American dream has been a beacon leading to a better life and the driving force behind social and economic success. Sadly, today, too many hardworking people feel that that dream is slipping out of reach. The beacon seems distant and faint, and with it come new roadblocks to prosperity and personal achievement. It is the common task of each member of this Congress to work to restore the equality of opportunity that makes us great through principled and pragmatic governance. Power does not flow from Capitol Hill to Main Street. It is my goal to empower those that I represent to reach their potential free from government burdens. In his State of the Union, the President talked about working together. While we may disagree greatly on the steps to get there, the goals laid out in the address provide valuable targets for real bipartisan achievement in the coming year. From investing in our roads and bridges to ensuring workers keep more of their hard-earned money, there's room for agreement on both the left and the right, from Congress to the White House. Rejecting political spectacle, it is my sincere hope that the President is prepared to work with the House and Senate and members of all stripes to advance the common goals that unite us, something we saw glimmers of last night. A reinvestment in our nation's infrastructure is required to position our economy for 21st century success. There is bipartisan agreement deeply rooted in both chambers in the form of the Partnership to Build America Act, which provides an innovative way for our nation to restructure our tax code, bring corporate earnings back from abroad, and finance hundreds of billions of dollars in infrastructure projects with no new appropriated costs. This is an idea supported by conservatives, liberals, and most importantly, the American people. Likewise, the goal of tax reform has wide support among both parties and both branches. It's clear that allowing small businesses and their workers to keep and utilize more of what they earned can strengthen families, communities, and our economy. And it's equally clear, however, that there are deep differences in what makes for a successful reform of our burdensome tax code. In his now 6 State of the Unions, the President has outlined 6 different plans to raise taxes on some portion of the population. And while these proposals certainly represent changes to our current tax code, these aren't the substantive bipartisan reforms that the American people are begging for. Without fixing the broken tax code, we're just compounding the problem. And without cutting spending, we aren't giving Americans the confidence that their money is being spent wisely. In previous years, the President has agreed on the need to lower the corporate tax rate, the highest in the industrialized world. Let's tackle that. Let's build momentum on bipartisan compromise and use that to begin the discussion about tax reform that unleashes our Main Street economy and allows us to invest in our priorities without adding more layers to an already complicated system. It's easy to identify the areas of disagreement, especially after an address like the State of the Union, but it's more important to find areas of agreement, especially ones that go above and beyond what we may hear in lofty and often politically tainted speeches. As a member of the bipartisan group No Labels, I understand that there are a handful of issues that transcend ideological divisions, and by clearly identifying them, we can allow members to work together toward common ends. That's the idea behind our National Strategic Agenda. It's a bipartisan plan centered on 4 common goals: creating 25 million jobs in the next decade, securing Medicare and Social Security for another 75 years, balancing the federal budget by the year 2030, and making America energy independent by 2035. Last night, the President said, quote, "A better politics is one where we debate without demonizing each other, where we talk issues and values and principles and facts rather than gotcha moments or trivial gaffes or fake controversies that have nothing to do with the people's daily lives." And I couldn't agree more. and I hope that last night's rhetoric translates into real outreach and real cooperation. Working together around shared objectives is how our nation has always succeeded. It's no different today. That's why it's my sincere hope we can make 2015 a year not of political finger-pointing and electioneering, but of progress toward accomplishing the things that unite us and growing the American dream for every family. Thank you for listening.